It's getting serious, people. Today is day 85 of the Carmelo
85?
Anthony hostage crisis. And at this point, it's not clear how or if it's going to be resolved. It's not even clear anymore who is being held hostage. I mean, is it Melo? The Knicks do have an offer for him on the table from the Rockets, the team Melo wants to go to. But New York won't pull the trigger because, well, after Phil Jackson spent an entire season telling the world that Melo isn't that valuable, turns out the trade offers for Melo are not that valuable.
Good job,
In this
Phil.
case,
Mission accomplished.
the Rockets are insisting Ryan Anderson and his $61 million contract be part of any deal. And New York's press, understandably, doesn't want to have to take that on. And, well, Houston doesn't feel the need to improve or sweeten its offer because they're not competing with any other teams in these negotiations. Which is why the Knicks are, in a sense, being held hostage here, too. With Melo only willing to waive his no-trade clause for one team, it severely handcuffs the franchise in making a deal. And yeah, those handcuffs are the team's own making, but Phil is the one who gave Melo the no-trade. Now it's the new management that has to deal with those handcuffs nonetheless. Look, there are a couple ways out of this. Melo could decide he wants a change of scenery badly enough he's willing to throw another team into the mix. I know, a couple gentlemen in Portland who, for instance, would be so happy to have him, they'd come over to his house, they'd help him pack, I promise you.
Nice.
The other solution is for the Knicks to decide that, thanks to Phil's shenanigans, they are just not going to get a good offer for Melo, but that they think it's better to accept a subpar deal than have that fresh start they want so badly be poisoned by constant external and internal questions about Melo's role with the club. Of course, there's also a third option. The training camp opens Monday, and not hoodie Melo, regular Melo, will be standing in front of that Knicks pattern backdrop, being asked for the 1,000th time why he is still with the team. Is this workable? Well, look, Melo has already shown he's a pro. If he does stay trapped in New York, we know he is not going to poison the locker room. And hey, apparently Michael Beasley thinks that if Melo stays, the Knicks are a 5 or 6 seed in the playoffs. It's a nice thought, but considering the team won't even put Melo's picture on their season tickets, it's just hard to see it all working long term. Instead, it's likely to just feel like, I don't know, still a hostage crisis, with everyone holding each other captive and no rescue in sight. Stephen, I'm going to quote The Sound of Music. How do you solve a problem like Melo? I mean, what do you do?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I like that.
I have my own song. Let my people go. Listen, some kind of way, it never works out. It never works out when you have an angry star. It never works out. They need to let Melo go, make that work out with Houston, because that's the only perfect answer to this situation. He's going to be upset. He's not going to want to be there. He's not going to want to play. He's not going to be the best Melo you want as a star of your team. He needs to go to Houston. They need to figure that out some kind of way.
The more I've thought about it, the more I like the possibility of Portland. Because the trade that they could put together...
So you think Melo is the one who should give?
I really think he should consider it. Because I understand why he wants to go to Houston, and I get it. But if Portland is very intriguing to me. And Portland is an awesome place. I don't know how players feel about Portland, but I think it's an awesome place. I think it's an interesting spot for him. And they could make a deal for him. And I am enjoying C.J. McCollum and Damian Lillard recruiting him to waive that no trade. But I think that this deal could help both teams. I think there's Al-Farouq Aminu and Mo Harkless and maybe a draft pick. That would not be a bad trade for the Knicks. That would actually help them going forward.
But again, that trade is not open to them at the moment because Melo has not opened his no-trade clause to Portland, and Houston doesn't have to compete with Portland if that's still the case. So they're still offering what they're offering. How crippling would it be for the Knicks to just do what Steven suggests and just be like, you know what, we just need to solve this and get rid of him, and we'll take the $61 million Ryan Anderson contract?
I just think from a front office perspective, you never want to have non-movable assets. And Ryan Anderson at this point is a non-movable asset. That's why he can't be traded in this deal. And frankly, the trade I just described with Portland, you'd get 3 things that you could either play or offload. And the thing about Ryan Anderson is he's not a young player. If he was even a few years younger and you could say, well, he can grow with our team, he just doesn't fit the Knicks financially or in their timeline with their ages. And so I can understand, and the sources that I talk to tell me that the Knicks situation on Ryan Anderson is a hard no. They're not even wavering on that right
which
now.
you kind of get. I mean, this is Scott Perry. This is new management there who has been put in this position by the last guy, whose name we just won't mention again here on the show.
Please don't.
And it's tough for them because, look, they were crippled in making the deal for Melo, right? The deal that got Melo to New York set the franchise back. You don't want the deal that sends him away to set the franchise back again. Fans want a competitive team. But it is hard, Stephen, as you say, to have a guy there who everybody knows is on the way out.
I love Portland. Let me say that. Those two guys with the big guys, he lost all the weight this summer. He's ready to play. I like Portland. That's a good look. I don't know if Melo will go for it because the situation with him and Chris Paul. I think the Houston situation is ideal. It might not happen like you say, but either way it goes, he needs to get out of New York some kind of way for his career and for New York to move on.